Alright guys, back with another video here. Coming at you from the end of round 2. I showed up maybe with 10 minutes to spare and didn't really have the time to vlog in the car, so I had to play my first round, which went the full 50 minutes into game 3, and then just finished the second round because we had a pair immediately. So today I am playing Ends Zoroark with Reshiram. I took the all-out Blitzel version of the deck that he's been playing in the online tournaments recently, that he played to the first Smart Series event. He's not playing any Darmanitans, which I feel like was the right choice for the deck. Doesn't really seem like something where Darmanitan is getting enough value, especially with the amount of hype that Shaman is generating. I'm really playing this deck so that I can learn what it's like on the Zoroark side of things to maybe play it in the following formats. I know black-white on. We have Tool Scrapper, Guardies on the rise. Jellicent is seemingly like a really overhyped card. It's hard to tell. And then with Goldengo on the rise, we'll go back to the Darm version, but right now, just getting reps in with the deck is really important. We'll see how the rounds proceed.
This is the Zoroark 60 that I'm going to be playing today. It feels very strong and well positioned, especially into the current meta decks. Playing this today mainly to prey on Gardevoir, not wanting to have a repeat of my last event.
Alright, so round 1, I played against Bram Kraus. This was the opponent that was playing Marnie's Grimmsnarl in the first vlog at Collector's Cash Challenge. He was playing Guardy this time, but he was playing a Devolution in game 1. I kind of sussed out that he was playing it, but it was very apparent when he let me KO his second Guardy without setting up a Ralt or Curly to follow it up. And then Arvind for Devo to take 3 prizes on 3 Zoroarks. I just showed him energy for the Petron EX. We went into game 2. Game 2, I opened a pretty bricky hand, a lot of basics, and no Zoroark or Search or Arvind or Supporter, so it just was really rough. We played about 5-6 turns. I bossed up a Guardy to try and stall him for a turn. I was sitting on Unfair Stamp, but he just didn't take a knockout, so I just ended up scooping after he retreated the Guardy the second time, and we went into game 3. And then in game 3, I kind of just controlled the pace, went ahead, bossed up a Guardy, used Monkey Dory to take multiple prize turns when his board was basically all one prize besides Fez, and then just guaranteed the game at the very end where he just had to boss and hope to stall, but I showed him the energy. Get back into Zoroark to use Virtuous Flame. It was pretty close. I think the Devo tech is like really interesting. Bram has definitely played like 2 very high skill decks, and both of our sets have been very good. I feel like he maybe needs to just get more reps in, and once he does, he'll be a lot better with those decks. But it also maybe is that I've almost counterdecked him without knowing it, because Garchomp versus Grimmsnarl didn't feel bad, and then now Zoroark versus Gardevoir is basically textbook. So he'll definitely be somebody that I'm practicing with, especially going into cups and regionals. I have a few cups in August, and then a week off, and then some other events in September. The first regional that I plan on going to is Milwaukee, and I'll be really excited to test with some people as well as play the new Mega cards that are coming out. Alright, just got done with round number 2. Played against the same Joltik Box player that I played in round 5 of the Game Nut Challenge. This time, the matchup worked out more favorably for him. I was hoping that he wasn't playing Joltik Box, but he and I were talking, and I kind of came to the conclusion that Joltik Box is just a really popular deck in our metagame, at least our local metagame. It definitely was just rough, because in game 1, I was cornering his Latias, and he just immediately put down Iron Leaves, and took out Maractus to go back to evens. I kind of just threw away game 1, and then like as soon as I realized what my mistake was, I just scooped. And then going into game 2, I really didn't make like much of an adjustment, and it kind of just punished me because like I let him go first, which is what I want to do, because I want to go second so I can set up better. I didn't set up terribly well. But it wasn't like bad. I was like definitely playable. And then this turn 2, he went Jolting Charge to a lone Pikachu, but he only put like a certain amount of energies on it, and then he attached the extra energy to Joltik. I didn't threaten any like knockout or anything because he had Bravery Charm to Joltik, so it was at 80 HP. So I just passed because he was still at 6 and I was still at 6, and I was like, oh, I can't aggress because he has a set up Pikachu on his bench. But I probably should have just taken the knockout on the active, because he basically just put down Iron Hands and then Jolting Charge to it. So I was like, okay, well now he's like established all the threats. He has a full energy Iron Hands. He has a 2 energy Pikachu that's just missing the metal. And then he has a 2 energy Joltik with a Bravery Charm. So it's like, okay, I can either KO Joltik, I can play around Iron Hands, or I can attack Pikachu. And it's like, well, I should have KO'd Joltik, but I decided to just begin prepping Blood Moon. But Blood Moon was a turn too late, and ultimately, when the next turn rolled around, I just passed again to him. So then he amped my Zorua, and then I Blood Moon back, and then he primes my, he goes Galvantula Prime on Zoroark to go to 2. I Unfair Stamp him, and he goes Arven for Earthen Vessel for Metal per game with Pikachu. So yeah, just a bad matchup, but we'll see how the draw goes in the next couple matchups. Most of it looks fine. There's a Crustle, even Typhlosion that I was playing next to, few Dragazards, which I would hope to hit, but we'll see how things pan out, because I might look into different decks, especially for the next challenge that I'm going to, since I know I'll be riding with a Joltik Box player to it. Started warming up in there, so I took my hoodie off. Just finished round 3. Played against Copperajah, Archaludon, Monkeys. The Copperajah was a Copperajah EX from Paldea Evolved. That's just like the big body, 300 HP with the Nosequake attack. Does 260 and then spreads 3 damage counters to each of your own bench Pokemon. So his strategy was just swing with Copperajah, have a bench full of Dories. All the Dories have energies on them. And then coming back into your turn, you get to move all the damage off with the Dories, and then Nosequake again. Not having Darmanitan really hurt in this matchup. If I would have been able to like boss KO double Monkey or something, maybe it would be playable. I kind of just like waited for him to attack with Nosequake the first time so that I could Powerful Rage, but he figured it out like pretty quickly. So then I transitioned from like trading and everything to just like draw pass, because like as long as neither of us want to attack, I can beat him on deck out. And I was beating him on deck out, but he finally just decided, like after benching this 4th Monkey Dory and attaching a Dark to it, he was just like, let's just start swinging. So yeah, that was really rough. Like I play the Picnic Basket, but I only get to do 1 fix. I don't know, I played Picnic Basket too early. He went Nosequake 1, and I was like, okay, Picnic Basket, and then blow it up. But he just made another one, Mother Copperajah EX, and Nosequaked again, and I was like, okay, well now I don't have Picnic Basket, so I lose, because I also don't have damage counters in play. Since I have the Powerful Rage with the active Zoroark, which means all the damage counters in play go away, and then he puts 3 damage on all his guys. So 1-2. I'm gonna keep playing it out. I might be able to make top 8 points. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully I do. I was sitting next to Control versus Dragapult, so not sure how badly I want to play against the Control deck to get top 8 points. Alright, so I hit who I thought I was going to hit, which was Arsene Wickham, who was playing Control today. They were on Spitoff's Pidgeot. Was very interesting. I'm sitting down, they were like instantly booming about the matchup mentally. They were like, as long as you put down Petron EX early, there's basically nothing they can do because they can never retreat lock me. And of course, flip over my deck with the First Search Nest Ball, and Petra's not in there, which means that I have to play the entire game with the constant threat of like counter catcher retreat lock on Maractus or the Ends Reshiram that's on my bench, because I need to have an Ends attacker to use Zoroark. And then about like 4 turns into the game, they like flip over their deck with Pidgeot, and they're like, oh wait, I just forgot that this was on the deck, and they immediately slam Cornerstone and attach to it, which means now I have to kill every single thing on their bench without killing Cornerstone, and I can't do anything to Cornerstone besides put damage on it with Monkey Dory. So ultimately, it came down to me moving 17 damage counters, so using Adrenaline Brain 6 times, and attacking with Enzarua Scratch twice to win the game. Basically, the only mistake was that like they started attacking with Corner Pawn instead of just passing, because I think their deck was bigger than mine, which means that eventually they can just keep passing because they're ahead. They should have more cards left in the deck than me, and more ways to recover cards, whether that's like Iono, Palpad, Super Rod. There was a certain point where I just like traded every single turn, and they could have just gotten away with lone corner pawn in the active, as long as they kept like not giving me damage to move, which I think if they didn't attack after they put the first amount of damage in play and just waited for me to make Zorua with a Dark to attack for 20, I think they would have got there. I just finished round 5, played against Mr. Kraus, so it actually turns out that he brought along a fellow master, which is his oldest son, then a senior, who was his daughter, and a junior, who was his kid, which is actually pretty cool. Like, families like all come together for events and like support each other and everything. He was playing Marnie's Grimmsnarl with Frostlass and included Pheasantipity. Not super sure how much I like that card in that deck. I know that the draw in that deck is kind of inconsistent. So having the Fez means getting access to more cards every turn, but putting the liability down, especially when that deck really wants to like focus on the nitty-gritty of being a single prize deck until it decides to Evo, and then also add in like the Frostlass Muckidori sprinkling. 3-2. I think that's probably going to be good enough for top 8. I might bubble out of 4. I think it's super likely that there still ends up being an undefeated. They were talking about like not playing round 5 for some reason, since we dropped from like 17 masters to 16 to 15, and we only had 1 undefeated, which was really weird, but not my place to say. They made it a best of 3 challenge, which also, whatever. It was super fun to play though. And Zoroark felt actually really, really solid. I'm not like super impressed, but I really feel like this deck wants Darmanitan, and this format is just not the format for Darmanitan. So once we get that card back in the 60, whether that's like a 3-2 line with some reversals and like Night Stretchers just to make sure that you can absolutely abuse it, or if it's something that like comes up a little bit later. I'm really looking forward to Black-White, because I do think that this deck gains access again to Darm, and that sounds super exciting.
I was 3-1-1.
6 is Kai Browning.
Oh,
Nice. 7, I got Adam Zanderer.
let's go!
Gold.
8, I got Griffin Norvell.
Let's go. Thank God. Oh my God. Thank you.
9th, I got
Okay, just got done with the challenge. 3-2, finished just at 8th place. I didn't get the standings. Everybody got pretty healthy pricing. Everybody got a prize pack. Pack of the Destined Rivals. They gave us 2, or they gave me at least. I think they gave everybody like 2 Series 7. So get to open that. Somebody gave me their Ends Castle because I was playing the Ends deck today, and then somebody else wanted to get rid of these Hollow Fan Rotoms, so I just picked those up from them. They weren't too interested in trading anything, but maybe I'll catch up with them at a different time. So I'm gonna go get the standings, and then I'm gonna head home. Home from the tournament run. Ends Zoroark played pretty well today. I think that this deck has a lot of potential going into the Black-White On format. From today's tournament, I got a Prize Pack Series 6, 2 Destined Rivals, and 2 of the elusive Series 7 meant to come out in August of this season. And then this extra Series 6 is from a store that I went and picked up a second Ends Reshiram from. They said that they had a whole lot in backlog that apparently they hadn't found earlier, so +1 pack today.
Overall, today was good for the sake of learning how to play the Ends deck and the variants that All Out Blitzel had crafted. Plenty to adjust, especially going into the following format of Black-White On. Darmanitan will be super helpful, especially with the Goldango matchup, which I didn't play today, lucky enough, but especially going into this coming weekend where we'll have the Black-White cards officially available to play, I'm expecting to see a big turn on Dango. Thank you for watching.